He was known as Putin's chef, but now Yevgeny Prigozhin has made an enemy of the president he once served, mounting the single greatest challenge to Vladimir Putin's 2 decades of iron-fisted rule, only to call off his rebellion after 24 hours as his troops neared the gates of Moscow.
Мы шли для демонстрации своего протеста, а не для свержения власти в стране.
Brash, brutal, and outspoken, Prigozhin led Russia's largest mercenary army, the Wagner Group, to victory in battles against Ukraine, sometimes at the cost of thousands of his men. He had publicly denied involvement until this video emerged, showing him recruiting convicts to his mercenary ranks. His cutthroat leadership on full display, telling the men, if you serve 6 months, you are free, but coldly warning potential deserters, if you arrive and it's not for you, we'll execute you. But for all his brutality, he became something of a folk hero to his troops, with curse-laden videos criticizing corruption in the most graphic terms. Here, standing next to the bodies of dead soldiers, musing about marching on Moscow, and blasting Russia's top military leaders for not providing enough ammunition, calling them the children of elites, fuming they've allowed the children of others to return home shredded to pieces in coffins. It's an unlikely climb from a 20-year-old who was imprisoned for petty theft, who then scratched and clawed his way into a successful restaurant business, catering to Putin's inner circle, first earning that nickname, Putin's chef. He later took on the role of disinformation enforcer, creating a bot farm and sowing doubts about the 2016 election, roles which led to him being indicted by special counsel Robert Mueller. It was only then that he morphed into his current role, Wagner military chief, stepping into the vacuum when Russia's traditional army stumbled at the beginning of the war. He's managed to build a vast economic empire off the spoils of war, his private army backing African dictators in exchange for hundreds of millions in gold and blood diamonds. Recently, in one of his videos, he mocked his nickname, Putin's chef, saying a better one would be Putin's butcher. The question remaining, what will the unpredictable mercenary chief do next?
And with that, Raf joins us tonight from Kyiv. So, Raf, we've seen this almost unbelievable power struggle, right? It played out over the weekend, and now it's over? Is it really over? Is Prigozhin really just going to go quietly into retirement in Belarus?
Tom, given everything we know about Vladimir Putin, given everything we know about Yevgeny Prigozhin, it is very hard to imagine this is over. Putin is not a man known to let bygones be bygones. His enemies have a habit of turning up dead if they cross him, and Putin made very, very clear in his frankly angry address to the nation tonight that he believes Prigozhin is a traitor, even though he didn't use his name. As for Prigozhin, he got to where he is in life by being larger than life, by having a lot of swagger, by being a big character. For months and months and months, he's been leveling this scorching criticism at Russia's military leadership, and it is hard to imagine that he is just going to go quiet now in Belarus.
Right. You don't go from catering to being the most famous mercenary now in the world. I do want to ask, so much of the coverage has been about Russia and about Vladimir Putin, but what does this mean for Ukraine? What do Ukrainian officials take away from all of this?
So Ukrainian officials are looking for every opportunity to try to exploit this to their advantage on the battlefield politically. We spoke to a Ukrainian military officer today. He told us even if this rebellion is over, even if the Russians are not literally shooting at each other, he is convinced that this is going to take a toll on Russian morale. It will affect their performance on the battlefield. He said if you're a Russian soldier, you're sitting in a cold, wet trench in eastern Ukraine right now, you are seeing your leaders squabbling amongst themselves. You may be asking what it is that you're fighting for. Politically, we saw President Zelensky making a surprise visit to troops in the east today. And Tom, the visual contrast between Zelensky taking selfies with his soldiers and Vladimir Putin isolated, remote, behind the walls of the Kremlin, very, very stark. Tom.
Raf Sanches from Kyiv tonight for us. Raf, we appreciate that.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.